I woke up at 4 a.m. this morning with a jumper for a pillow, a baggy t-shirt for pyjamas, and the weighted sleep mask that now rounds to 0 in costs per wear. I rolled and I dozed until the alarm at 4:20. The cycle repeated, and 4 times. I dreamt I was a swim coach on a yacht in the Mediterranean. I dreamt I was a CEO of the next big activewear brand. I dreamt I was happily married with kids in the Cotswolds, and finally, at 5:40 a.m, I was lying there unconscious, and in the words of Alan Watts, I dreamt that I would wake up
exactly where I was right now. So 6 a.m, I pulled the mask from my eyes, I chucked on a jumper I had borrowed, unlocked a car I had borrowed, and somehow started a Saturday I was to borrow. Because when you break the routines of your past to rehearse the life of your future, you borrow from a version of your life that doesn't yet exist. But I guess it leaves you asking, at what point do you stop chasing a dream and actually start living it?
I got up quite early this morning because the weather has been a bit rubbish in Cape Town for the past few days, and today looked like it was going to be full sun, so I got up at I ended up waking up at 4, but I got up at 6 and just drove 5 minutes down to Nordic Beach. The last 3 weeks have been such a whirlwind for me. I basically left you after the end of my first week here, where I got here really struggling with stressing about work, being overwhelmed, feeling quite lonely, and just what am I doing? Classic when you come to a new place.
And I told you how I'd bumped into Chloe in South Yeaster Bakery. I ended up at her art class and I sat next to a stranger. He gave me a lift home in his very quirky car, and that moment would come to change the direction of the next few weeks of my life.
Hi, I'm just calling because I have a flight booked.
There's a lot of frameworks for making decisions, weighing up the pros and cons, which one will help me in the long run, which one makes the most financial sense or helps the most people. But somehow it never used to feel like that. What should we do tonight? The beach or the park? I just need to be home by 9. But as we grow up, our lives get busier, our worlds get bigger, there's more responsibilities, dependencies, distance, calendars and complications. I was initially back-to-back with plans, work and events until the end of May this year, feeling like it was the best way to pack the most into my year. But when the war in the Middle East disrupted global travel and flights back to Europe would cost me a fortune anytime soon, I had to cancel a bunch of commitments. I've lost work, I've lost money, I've lost opportunities, but somehow I think I knew all along that I was going to stay.
Oh, that's fine.
I guess you could put together something where it's
Come on, hurry up, let's go.
Come on. Like that.
Bye, Dad. Have fun at work. The kids are going out to play now. Where are we? To be free on a random Thursday. Hell yeah. I'm so glad you got that memo. He's getting winked at already. First coffee stop, how many are we having?
I don't know.
7 minutes.
We'll see.
I could just put a little house there. That Portaloo, I could live there. Yeah. Plenty of space. That's bigger than most London flats, that is. Welcome to the Cape Town wind. And rain. Oh. They're so cute.
Like a robot. Made to look like a person.
Yeah. Exactly. Just too good to be true. That's what you're trying to say.
Yeah.
That's it.
Definitely.
So as Chloe had turned around halfway through the ride to get back, Daniel and I finished the loop around the peninsula and arrived back where we had begun that morning at South Yeaster Bakery.
We're back, baby. Ride through.
I could always go work in a coffee shop, was how I'd respond to colleagues and friends concerned at me leaving my corporate career. It's a temporary solution that is accepted by the masses because inevitably you will return to the grind. I think that this hustle culture, planning, corporate mindset is something that I've unknowingly carried over into my creative lifestyle, that I should do things with status or that sound good, that are good for brands, I should be working hard, I should be stressed, I should be challenged, and finally, at some undefined point in the future when I'm some famous filmmaker, I can relax. And I think having part of that is so important because it makes me motivated, it makes me do things, it makes me get better at what I love. But I think there's this other part of me on this seesaw that is the part that's become so absorbed in this bakery. I could always go work in a coffee shop, and day in and day out, I'd get up early, I'd live slowly, I'd perfect the art of the espresso or the sourdough croissant, and every day when it gets to mid-afternoon, we can ask, what should we do tonight? We could go to the beach or to the mountains. We just need to be home by 9.
Definitely a run up. It's so hard without cleats to go no-handed. Right, it's enough fun.
So I guess this time, here is where I found myself, having initially come to Cape Town, feeling really low but wanting to work remotely from somewhere that inspires me, to now having no return flight home and deciding to just f*** it.
Brunch time! I feel this car is going to get featured in this YouTube video more than like anything else. But there's nothing, I don't know, I've never been anywhere like this.
Yeah, we basically ended up spending like a solid few weeks together, which has been so nice. Like, I feel like it's been so nice to have like a consistent friend here. And I think it's brought up like one of the interesting things about traveling and the difference between like traveling where you're spending like a few days in a city at a time and like constantly bopping between places, and when you travel more slowly and like more intentionally, you actually become so absorbed in like a place and in community. And I think like friends and community is like what will always tie me to a place. Like, I actually objectively hate London, but loads of my friends are there and I have so much community there that it always keeps me coming back. But it kind of makes me think, like, if I can like slow travel the world, like how many places I could have in this lifetime that feel like home.
Oh, hey friends, and welcome to the sunset. We came down here this evening. Chloe is currently painting and I'm here just in my feels watching like the pink days across the horizon, the little like laps of water over the rocks, like the mountains are going so pink, and it's honestly just so beautiful. I feel so calm here. I feel so peaceful, and at least for now, this place really feels like my home. Like, I really adore it. Oh my god, why am I gonna cry? It's really interesting because like I've had a lot of questions recently about how I plan and like make my videos, and honestly the truth is that like nothing about my videos is ever planned. I literally just film stuff that I see and stuff that I feel and stuff that happens, and then when I come to editing it and making a story out of it, I will literally just sit with my footage and play different music. And it sometimes takes a minute, it sometimes takes an hour, but eventually a song will come on that, paired with the footage, just completely recreates the emotion that I was feeling at the time. And sometimes that is Joe Blankenberg because he like really captures tension. Oftentimes it's Judah Earl because I find his music so like calming and ethereal. And ever since I started YouTube, I have tried so many different music licensing platforms, but only one has ever stuck, and that is MusicBed. MusicBed are different because they intentionally curate their music. Their songs are picked with intention, with artistry, and crucially for me, with emotion, because that is what makes the biggest difference to my videos, is conveying an emotion. They know that filmmakers and musicians have the power to shape the way that we think, shape the way that we feel, and reveal truths in the world. My videos would be very different if it wasn't for MusicBed. So if you have ever been wanting to bring your feelings to life in the same way that I get so much joy from, you can get a 14-day free trial with MusicBed using the link in my description. And thank you to MusicBed for supporting this video.
Oh, good morning, sports fans. Woo! Hello. Hello. Liabilities just arrived. Today we're starting one of 3 days going on a little gravel adventure. Yeah, good. How's your drive?
Hot.
It's because you were in the car.
So as the temperatures soared in Cape Town, Daniel and I tagged along to one of Stu and Karen's gravel tours.
It reminds me of going on like a BMX track.
Except I had a slight issue in that my front brake wasn't working.
The lack of the front brake isn't doing bits.
So it turned out that I'd put my chorus mount over my brake cable, so the first day was spent mucking about in the sand, not going down too many descents, and trying not to get heat stroke in the 40-degree weather, which is not a bad to-do list.
Good morning, sports fans. Welcome to Pal. Banana bread. It's stunning. It's a real good road. Like, well, track.
So the second day was spent in Pal, which is about an hour out of Cape Town. We were exploring some of the beautiful gravel routes with a functioning front brake this time.
We've reached the rock. Got my leg from yesterday. Ooh, she's sore, she ouchie. Just hurts when I put like pressure down on the pedals.
Stu and Karen were basically doing a guided tour for like 6 days with a British couple who were out here, and I decided to join for the first few days, which was super fun, and I'm hopefully going to be doing a little solo gravel adventure soon. So yeah, it was super nice to get some practice in. And then we woke up super early for my final day with them, which was this beautiful pass that I had no idea existed out here. I woke up at 5 a.m. this morning on a couch under the aircon in a new apartment in a new city, my belongings in bags and unsure of what day it was. I unpacked the bike I had borrowed from the car I had borrowed and somehow started another random day I was to borrow. When Stu had hurt his hip on the previous day of gravel, I was the one leading everyone out. A climb I'd never done, on roads I'd never ridden, and an experience I'd never had. If you watched the previous video, you will know that I was staying with Stu and Karen because they saw my YouTube videos about Cape Town last year.
She is beautiful.
Just another example of how my life seems to be made up of happenstance.
Also, it's such a nice little gradient. It's like 4%. I show you good views. That is nice.
If someone stumbles across something, or I stumble across
It's gonna be
them.
a fun descent, hey? Hey friends, we're going on an adventure. We're gonna go and see if we can find a pool to swim in. We need to apparently go exactly 2 kilometres.
One thing leads to another, and all of a sudden on a few days' notice I'm
Could be a mirage. Oh yeah, there is water. Water!
somewhere I hadn't even planned. I'm just jumping into how they live their life, their friends, their communities, their normalities, and I guess along the way making my normality the fact that nothing is constant. My plans are always changing. I'm in this constant state of rewriting my present and rewriting my future. And I get to experience so much in this world by just having put myself out there. And after a few days doing this amazing gravel tour, I decided to go and live a few days just for me.
Get loose. Get loose with a gun, 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 get loose.
I see you!
That feels so Cape Townian.
Yeah,
Like very
you look
helpful.
good. I like it.
So free.
Yeah. I hope you're not wearing anything up. There you go.
Pardon?
So free, exactly. You do.
No, like just in general, like around the legs.
I'm really not wearing the right pants for this, am I?
I woke up at 5 a.m. this morning to open the gate, and then I went back to bed. I had a sore throat, and so I chose rest, and from the sanctuary of my duvet, I couldn't believe my luck. The mountains towered over me, their orange glow reflected in my eyes, and I got a call from my new friend. He delivered me pastries, we had a chat at the gate, and I've never felt so at peace. This place costs a lot of money, and it makes me wonder what the cost is of living like this forever. To have an outdoor shower, a permanent blue sky, to get up and work on my passions without hard deadlines, to bask in the air with no one watching, and so every night I go to sleep and I dream. I dream of that life, and every morning I wake up and realise I dreamt that I would wake up exactly where I was right now. And as the cycle repeats and I internalise its process, I realise I was always taught to sacrifice the present for a future, but no one teaches you how to sacrifice your future for the present. Just because I don't know how long living my dream will last does not mean that it is not my reality. So every day for the past few weeks I live like I'm alive, and when it gets to 5 p.m. I ask, what should we do tonight?
Such a long sausage.
I wish I had a microphone on this. Grandpa's doing a good job.
Burning with love in my eyes.
No, I feel like, come on, let's give him a bit of the dance.
I'm losing control, heading for paradise. 'Cause down in my heart.
4:20, the cycle repeated, and 4 times I dreamt I was a swim coach on a yacht in the Mediterranean. I dreamt I was a CEO of the next big activewear brand. I dreamt I was happily married with kids in the Cotswolds, and finally, at 5:40 a.m, I was lying there unconscious, and in the words of Alan Watts, I dreamt that I would wake up.
Exactly where I was right now.